As much as I'd like to think that I have my mindset with competitive games figured out, the truth is I still struggle with it from time to time. Progress is never linear. You don't just keep getting better and better consistently over time. You'll definitely go through periods of growth and improvement, but inevitably you'll also see times where it feels like you're backtracking or just hitting a wall in your game of your choice. But even knowing and being aware of that, I still fall into the trap of always wanting to have good days and blaming myself for the bad days. This is something I've been grappling with recently, as I feel like I've once again hit a rut in my Rocket League play. I took for granted how well I felt I'd been playing lately, and now that I'm starting to hit a wall again, my mindset has taken a bit of an ugly turn. As much as I praise just trying to have fun and enjoy the things that make you happy, it's also hard to have fun and be happy when you're constantly getting beat by your competition. And that's where I've been over the past couple weeks, losing a lot of games and watching my rank drop, while also noticing and focusing in on the flaws in my approach and mechanics. This is not the first nor the last time this will likely happen with me when it comes to competitive gaming, but it really doesn't make it any easier to experience and work through in the moment. I tend to get really in my head about my performance, which makes it difficult to be present and just play the game. Even when I should just be enjoying time playing with my friends, I still end up focusing too much on my own faults and get down on my gameplay. So as I've been navigating this rough patch, I've also been thinking intently on how I usually get through it. And as I've reflected on these thoughts and worked on reshaping my mindset, I felt my enjoyment of playing and competing slowly but surely start to return. So what's the secret? Well, these shouldn't be any revelations, but here are the mindset switches that seem to help me. First, stop taking yourself and your play so seriously. I know, this is easier said than done, but it's true. Even if you're aiming to be at the professional level in your game, you sometimes need to take a step back and remember why you play in the first place, and that's usually because it's fun. As serious and intense competitive gaming can get, at the end of the day it really is just a game, and your performance in it does not dictate your worth or value. The vast majority of us will never make it to the top rank or professional level, and even those that do, don't get there by continually beating themselves up over mistakes or poor game results. So the next time you find yourself getting overly upset about your play, take a breath and remind yourself that it isn't life or death out there. Games are about having fun, and if you're taking it too seriously to not enjoy your time playing, then what's the point? Next, understand that there will always be better people out there. Unless you're zen and have reached the very top of the competitive landscape for your game, you can guarantee that there is someone out there who is better than you. And even then, I'm sure the Zens of the world have had their fair share of moments getting embarrassed by others outperforming them. For the most part, competitive games are awesome because we are usually getting matched up with people around our skill level, but that doesn't mean we should be winning every game. You run into people playing out of their minds, or people having a horribly off day, and everywhere in between. Maybe you're the one playing out of your mind that day. Even so, you'll eventually climb to a spot where you're going against others who play at that level more consistently than you, likely leading to a new string of losses. So rather than focusing too much on the outcome of your game, instead recognize how you played against that particular opponent and take any lessons learned forward with you. And if your opponent is chirping in the chat, take some solace in the fact that they'll eventually get slapped around themselves in a following game. Third, accept that we're all trash to some degree. Now this may sound harsh, but again, the vast majority of us will never reach the top ranks in our game. So it's important to stay humble and realize that we all have trash tendencies in our play. Particularly in Rocket League, I found that a lot of people seem to forget that mistakes happen. We've all whiffed on the ball, made poor rotational decisions, and missed wide open nets. But this is all in the experience of being a human playing a video game. Nobody is perfect, and no matter what level you're at, I can guarantee someone can point out flaws in your game. As the old saying goes, everyone's shit stinks. We're all liable to drop a stinker here and there. What's important is to recognize this fact and be easy on yourself when your trash tendencies show up. Now this doesn't mean berating yourself or telling yourself that you'll never improve, but instead realize that we're always a work in progress and that mistakes and failures are all part of the journey of growth. So next time we miss a shot we feel we should have hit, just try to shrug it off as a learning experience rather than some fatal flaw in you as a person. And maybe this will help you find empathy with others when their trash is inevitably exposed. And if all else fails, just take a break. If the first 3 points fail to make an impression on you, and you still find yourself in a rut either with your play or your mindset, then maybe it's time to take a break from your game. No one likes to stop playing something that they usually find enjoyment in, but sometimes a true reset like that is necessary. Now this break can come in many shapes and forms. If you aren't in too dire of a situation, maybe this just means you play less demanding game modes or focus on your training. But a negative mindset can easily seep into this as well, so if you find that happening, then it's time to play or do something else. Maybe you can pick up a more relaxing, less demanding video game for a few days, or maybe you just don't play anything at all, opting to spend your time outside or doing other hobbies you find enjoyment in. Either way, don't underestimate the power of a good break. Taking time away from something causing you stress will allow you to reflect and bring clarity to why it's causing you stress, and I find it eventually reignites the drive and passion that may have otherwise waned over your slump. And if you're worried about losing progress or falling behind in your rank, realize you were already slumping to begin with, and go back to point number 1 of not taking your play too seriously. And that's really it. Getting stuck in your game or feeling like you aren't progressing is never easy to get through, but hopefully with these tips you can find a way to break through that wall and find enjoyment again. And if you have any other tips or mindset hacks that help you when you're struggling, feel free to leave those suggestions in the comment below, as I'd love to hear what works for you. But anyways, thanks as always for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.